Thank you all for spending some time with us today. It is Andrew here from IDB, and I have the CalDigit TS3, which is the higher end of the two Thunderbolt 3 docks that CalDigit puts out. This thing is absolutely packed with ports, everything that you could possibly need, maybe except for one thing you could possibly need, but otherwise this is an absolute pro device offering unparalleled performance and compatibility. But of course, all of that does come at a price. What I love about Thunderbolt 3 docks is it's everything you could possibly want over one cable. Unlike Thunderbolt 2 docks, the Thunderbolt 3 ones are capable of doing everything, including charging up your machine. This is capable of providing 85 watts of power to your 15-inch MacBook Pro, just shy of the 87 of the included charging brick that your computer would normally come with. Inside of the box, you're going to find the basic stuff: a shorter Thunderbolt 3 cable, a couple rails that you can use on the ribbed sides of the housing to put it on inside, the power adapter itself, which, funny enough, is pretty much about as big as the actual unit itself, which is tucked away in the bottom in a protective lining of plastic wrap and an actual bag. The way they keep these devices so small is obviously putting a lot of those power components into the external power unit. That's why this brick here is so ridiculously large, because it needs a lot of power to make something this powerful run, and keeping it small is definitely of utmost importance. It's pretty standard socket, nothing crazy here, so just a normal power brick, just happens to be quite large. Now, CalDigit also put out a second Thunderbolt 3 cable, and they're both very similar, though there are also big differences. When you have a longer Thunderbolt cable, the problem is you need to have an active cable instead of a passive cable, and there's some extra technology to make sure you get that throughput at those longer sizes. So that makes them not backward compatible. So the one that comes with the box is shorter, which can definitely be a problem for some people, but it's backward compatible with USB 3.0 and 3.1. The longer cables, they're better insulated, they're just as powerful, but they do lack the ability to have backward compatibility with 3.0 and 3.1. They still work with USB 2.0 devices, but they're not going to have that other compatibility. The longer cables that come in 1 and 2 meter, which is the one we're looking at here, there's definitely a build quality difference. The gauge of the wire is thicker, the ends of them are a lot more robust, again because the extra electronics that have to go in there to make this an active cable instead of passive. As far as the dock goes itself, or the hub, or the Thunderbolt 3 station, whatever you want to call it, it's very simply laid out. It works vertically or horizontally. There are two little rails that can plug into the ribs on the side of this that you can see there. They can work sideways or vertically, which I love, and that's a great design choice. On the front, you have a USB 3.1 port as well as input and output for audio. The back has a whole host of different options. 2 more USB 3.1 ports, a power cord where you can actually plug it into your computer and power it up, as well as an extra Thunderbolt 3 port. You have DisplayPort out for a monitor, and for all those pro users like me out there, there are 2 eSATA ports, which are absolutely fantastic if you got a lot of storage. On the bottom of it, if you're putting it vertically, there is rubber there as well, keeping it in place and not moving around. One feature that I really like is that USB 3.1 port on the front actually stays powered, even if it's disconnected from your computer, whereas the ones on the back need to be connected to actually have power going to them. So I can plug things in there like a phone or a dock or something like that, and it'll always be ready to go, even though my computer's not connected. I feel like there's a good amount of ports on here. It's not the most by any means, only 3 USB-A ports, which are fairly standard, but the OWC model has a couple more on there. Honestly, I would prefer more USB-C ports, as that's kind of what we're moving towards, and I could really use more of them on the back of my hub, especially going future. I don't have to buy another one of these in just a year or two because I don't have enough USB-C ports on it. Luckily, Thunderbolt 3 can daisy chain, so as I get more Thunderbolt 3 or USB-C devices, I can simply plug them into one another depending on what they are and if they have that throughput. Out of the many Thunderbolt 3 docks that are out there, I really like the size of the CalDigit and that it works vertically or horizontally. It's kind of a small thing, but it fits in so many more spaces and it fits more environments without kind of being obtrusive and in the way. This device is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum, but for good reasons. It's clearly meant for pros. Powering 5K displays or multiple 4K displays, all those other I/O options really make this a dream for pro users out there. If you'd like to pick one up, I have the link for this and the lighter model, which is cheaper, slimmer, and it'll save you about $100 down in the description below. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Until next time, it's Andrew for IDB.